together to deliver that Christmas magic, just like Cadbury Heroes. 9 festive legends. The best groups are all heroes, no zeros, like Cadbury Heroes.
Newstalk weather.
Thanks to Ryanair. Give someone you love something they'll really love. A Ryanair gift card.
Showers will ease in most areas, leaving a mostly dry night with clear spells. Lowest temperatures of 1 to 6 degrees. Now you're up to date on Newstalk.
They talk. They always talk.
And it just paints a picture of a club in complete chaos at the moment.
Just when you think it cannot get worse, utter insanity,
And it is getting worse.
they could be wound up. It's just really sad.
But when the noise fades and the cameras turn away, when the pundits and the papers have had their say, the town remains. The same streets, the same people, the same heartbeat. This shirt isn't a redesign, it's a reminder. A reminder that the league changes, the team changes, the headlines change, but the town remains.
Yes, indeed. We've got a shout out on Dundalk FC's new kit announcement. I got a message off Ben Symes, who's in studio with me tonight, last night, saying, was Maida Club's kit announcement already on the CV? And I clicked into the video, and it was that Dundalk FC video on social media where my voice, it appears, is there, and I've been made a little bit of a mug of. I've got beef against Dundalk FC, it seems, but it's a brilliant video, and I was looking through the comments on social media earlier on, and the work that's gone into it is absolutely fantastic. Brian McGuinness and Jack O'Connor, the two videographers. You are very welcome to Thursday night's Off the Ball. It's Owen here with you until 10 tonight. So bumper week of Premier League continues. We're going to be keeping you up to speed on everything that happens at Old Trafford tonight. It's Manchester United against West Ham. We'll be joined on the football show by Dion Fanning after 9 o'clock, and then between 8 and 9 we've got the latest episode of our Settle In series with Guinness, where we're going to be joined by Vanessa Ogbonna, who won the inaugural season of the Traders Ireland. She spent 8 years in direct provision as a child, had a very promising football career, got a scholarship in the United States, and then injury derailed things. So it's a fascinating sports interview coming your way after 8 o'clock. And then from around 25 past 7, we're going to be joined by Colm Cummins, who is on the GEA's National Demographics Committee. They released a report today about the stark realities facing both rural and urban clubs across the islands. Our number is 0879 180 180. If you want to drop us a WhatsApp, Cameron Hill is here. Hello, Cameron.
Hello, Drogheda United fan, Eoin Sheahan.
Thank you very much. And Ben, as I mentioned, is here as well. Hello, Ben. Thank you for tipping me off about that. I would have gone completely over my head otherwise.
Yeah, it would have, and you probably wouldn't have started the show with it either, and put yourself in the face of front of the media.
That's
again.
it. You got to get out in front of these things. Lead at the 7 o'clock hour with this. Don't no preambles with it. Is how you do it. But yeah, I mean, like as I say, I hadn't quite realised I had beef with Dundalk. I mean, you should give a shout out to Reggie there at the end. The video concludes with him wearing the Dundalk jersey, which is a bit of a masterstroke. He is, of course, the biggest success story coming out of Dundalk this year. Other than the promotion from First Division to Premier Division, one could say his success story has been magnificent. Fred again collaborating with him there at the end of October, and his fame has skyrocketed, deservedly so. He recorded that song in 2022. Fred again remixed it, and one of the lyrics about his hometown Dundalk is "Dundalk boss like Stephen Kenny," which has been heard by Fred Again fans all around the world. So congrats to Stephen Kenny as well on his newfound fame. But League of Ireland kits, I guess, have hit a new height in terms of their launches.
Kit launches are now like... There was so much build up in my group chat today around a couple of lads are Pats fans, and there was huge build up for the Pats kit launch. Now they have been somewhat let down by the kit, but the launch had like Paula Samina, Eddie Gormley. Kit launches are the new thing.
Yeah.
Your old friend Don Deasy was in the Galway United one during the week.
Oh God, how could I forget this? Sorry, I was going to refer to this Dundalk one as the best kit launch of the year. Sorry, it's only the best kit launch of the last 24 hours. The Galway United one yesterday is absolutely sensational. I've never seen Don Deasy turn on sort of candid mode before. Beyond that veneer of a comic genius, there is a real sincere gentleman, and that's worth checking out. We might grab the audio of that and play it out before 7:20 if we're not putting people under too much pressure. Yesterday's Galway United kit launch.
I'm used to seeing him accosting you outside of a coffee shop or maybe an election centre.
Yes.
It was nice to see him in a bit more of a relaxed.
Branching out.
Yeah, branching out.
There's no election this year, so he has to settle for a jersey launch. That's the problem.
No, that was really, really good. What else is there? I mean, is this kit launch season, Ben, where there's a slew of them?
There is a slew of them. Shelburne had theirs a couple of weeks ago, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Shelburne obviously now based in Drumcondra, originally Ringsend, so they decided they were going to pay homage to their route to the docks and filmed in Howth on the north side. Yeah. So I think that's the big thing now, is to go all in. I think everyone is kind of waiting on what are Bohemians going to do for their kit launch, you know?
Is that everybody chasing the sort of Bohemians with the lead here? Because it certainly I know Dan McDonnell has made the point numerous times now that the money they're going to get apparently from the Oasis kit and how prevalent that was throughout this summer and throughout this year will bring them pretty close to what Rovers have earned from a European standpoint. This is such a huge success story this year, as it has been the last couple of years for Bohemians, and it feels like League of Ireland clubs now have spotted that market, that you can really capture the imagination if you go a little bit more inventive and pick out a good jersey launch and design a good jersey and market it incredibly well. As well as Bohemians, I think anecdotally a lot of my friends noticed a lot of Derry City tops at festivals this year, so
yes,
clearly the League of Ireland has captured the imagination in that way as well as a bunch of others.
Yeah, definitely, and also tapping into the culture that surrounds your football team and not being we are football and football only.
I think everyone was waiting on our Bows going to release their kneecap kit that Mowgli Bap was caught wearing at a gig in Amsterdam a couple of weeks ago.
Well, apparently that's not going to be a match-worn kit.
I have heard this, but I'll let the rumours kind of seep through before we're greeted with their kit in the new year.
Cameron Hill, chief of wet blanketry over here. Sorry about that.
There has been some cracking kits. Drogheda United, I'm partial to a Clarton Blue kit.
Wait, listen, this is Drogheda love-free zone. We're not allowed to go big on that.
You are not allowed to, but I will say Drogheda United's kit is an absolute stunner. All three kits are unbelievable, but the home kit, it has this lovely blue trim around the circular collar and kind of Drogheda United badge kind of silhouetted into the stripes going down. I'm all in on kit launch season.
It's a West Ham United fan, Ben Symes, talking there about how much he loves those colours. So I'd take the claret and blue love with a pinch of salt. Cameron, we do have great news on the swimming front to start tonight's Newsround off with.
Yeah, another fantastic night for the Irish in the pool in Poland tonight. Daniel Wiffen has claimed gold at the European Short Course Championships this evening. He's a back-to-back champion in the 1500 metres freestyle, adding to the 400 metres bronze he picked up earlier in the week. He trailed Hungary's Zalan Sarkany for most of this race, but then Wiffen said he had to dig deep to touch the wall first in the end. He was speaking to Swim Ireland's in-house media earlier. There's just a health warning on this audio. It's not the clearest, but here's Dan Wiffen.
I'm so happy. As I said, I went through so many emotions in that race. At the start, I was feeling really rough. I was I hope I can stay at this pace. I got to 800 and I thought I was done. I counted myself out of the race, and then I just somehow was keeping still. The gap was close enough that I knew. And then I got to 300 left, and the race was actually going pretty quickly in my head. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to go for it, I'm going to have to hammer it last 200 metres. I don't know what my split was, but I'm sure it's probably the fastest ever to come back in. But honestly, that finish just shows everything I've been putting into this, and I'm so happy it came out.
Yeah, it's a story that we would have commented upon a good bit during the summertime when the Worlds didn't go his way for obvious reasons, when his body literally let us down and the appendicitis came into play. So, I mean, this is the bit of a comeback story within the 1 year, which has been absolutely fantastic. At the same time, I mean, winning European Championships is standard work for Daniel Wiffen, I'd imagine, at this stage, and he absolutely would have expected this. There's been some good news elsewhere as well, Cameron.
Yes, indeed. Ellie McCarthy came home first in the semi-final of the women's 200 metres breaststroke, so she qualifies for tomorrow night's final. Ellen Walsh came seventh in the final of the 100 metres individual medley. Now, in the last few minutes, John Short has qualified for the final of the 100 metres backstroke. That's on tomorrow. He came fourth in his semi-final, which is good enough to qualify. And Evan Bailey will contest the medal race in the 200 metres freestyle just after 7:25 Irish time. So the potential for more more medal glory tonight for the Irish.
Okay, we'll let you know on everything that happens on that front. Onto the football then. We've got one more round of fixtures. There is one fixture left in this round of games in the Premier League.
Best to last, Owen. Matheus Cunha returns to start for Manchester United in tonight's game at home to West Ham. The forward missed their last 2 games after suffering a knock to his head during a training session last weekend. Boss Ruben Amorim said he's pleased with how the Brazilian international settled at Old Trafford, but believes there's still more to come from him.
I think he has more levels to go. He's in the different club, different pressure, but I think he coped with that really well. He was struggling because he was not scoring, and because of social media abuse. He was thinking too much about the numbers, but the influence that he has in the team is so important for us. But I think Cunha has so much to grow defensively and offensively.
Matheus Cunha, of course, returning after that 2-match absence. He's straight into the starting team, one of 3 changes to the Manchester United side that beat Crystal Palace on Sunday. Matthijs de Ligt drops out, as well as Mason Mount and Lenny Yoro dropping to the bench, while Noussair Mazraoui comes in and Aidan Heaven makes his first league start of the season. On the West Ham front, Lucas Paquetá ruled out, of course, through suspension following that red card against Liverpool on Sunday. Thomas Souček is back in the team, the only change to the starting lineup for the Hammers, and kick-off at Old Trafford's at 8.
The Lenny Yoro situation here is probably the most telling piece of team news from that Manchester United side, especially given the way Ruben Amorim has been speaking in between the games. You kind of thought that the damage was done last week. He's taught him his lesson. He's had a few harsh words with him and he'll be straight back into the team. But as has been mentioned there, de Ligt's taken out of there, and also Yoro. Heaven, great opportunity for him, but this is a real slap in the wrist for Yoro.
Yeah, it is. And it's one of those things, especially, like, you kind of forget when someone is signed for that much money that he's still so young. And to be dropped from a team after a mistake like that, like, God only knows what's going through that man's head sitting on the bench tonight. And it's a game that I would say, look, speaking as a West Ham fan, it's a game that if I was a Man United fan, I'd be targeting this for 3 points. And if you're a defender coming into that team, if you make a statement, you keep a clean sheet, you could keep your 60 million signing out of the team. So it's massive for Europe to be dropped for a game like this.
Yeah, de Ligt is injured, so this was a late injury that we didn't know about before the game. It's a small thing. I expect to have him in the next game against Wolves. The rest of the guys are ready, is what Amorim has said. So the fact that de Ligt is injured and you take Yoro out of there as well is doubly bad for the defender as well. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, as you say, Manchester United, they were beaten by Everton last week when we thought that they had got back on song. Old Trafford, when things aren't going their way, can sometimes be a tough place to play in front of their own fans. Like West Ham United, despite everything that happened last weekend, should have a fair chunk of confidence, no?
Oh, you'd think that, Owen, but like, I am so used to seeing West Ham going to these games and putting 11 men behind the ball, and even looking at the lineup today, like, there's 4 central midfielders there. Mateus Fernandes is probably going to play on the left, Bowen is going to be on the right, and Callum Wilson up top. But like, Nuno Espirito Santo is such a defensive manager. We went 2-0 up away to Bournemouth the other week, and in the 51st minute he took off it was Callum Wilson and Luis Guilherme for Kyle Walker-Peters and Thomas Souček, and we played with a block of 6 at the back, 3 across the middle, and Thomas Souček was up to roam about. So I wouldn't have any confidence that West Ham will go and take this game to Manchester United.
Sorry, but when I say confidence, I mean confidence that you might come away with a point.
If you
get
can
something
keep,
from the game.
if you can keep United at bay, which, look, Joshua Zirkzee scored his first goal in nearly a year, I think, against Palace at the weekend. But Brian Mbeumo and Cunha back looked very promising the first couple of weeks before Cunha got injured. So I would have confidence if I was Manchester United going into this.
I mean, wasn't this one of the few games that Graham Potter actually won? Went to Old Trafford last year in May and got a 2-0 win, so, you know. One
of the very, very few games when nothing really mattered at the end of that season anymore, yeah. I tried to erase that era from my memory.
As you say, that is an 8 o'clock kickoff tonight in the Premier League, and Dion Fanning will be with us from 9 o'clock on the football show to keep across that. Where are you going next, Cameron?
Well, bad news for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Owen, he suffered another injury setback which could further impact his hopes of making England's squad for next summer's World Cup. The former Liverpool fullback came off with a thigh injury during Real Madrid's 3-0 win over Atletico Madrid last night. He's facing a minimum of 2 months on the sidelines.
Okay, we just want to play this. You mentioned at the top of the show, friend of the show, Don Deasy, was front and centre for the Galway United kit launch yesterday.
Bringing on Eamon Deasy.
Eamon was my brother, and he played with a pride and passion that defined the people of Galway. He lived for the game, for the tackle, for the win, and for the maroon jersey on his back. Chick was untouchable in that jersey. The word legend gets thrown around too easily these days, but my brother was the real thing. And his legacy, I think, will live forever in my heart. And every time we stand needs his name at Gibson-Park, we are so proud and remember what it means to play for pride, for place and for people.
Well, I don't know. Sorry to my new fans in Dundalk, but I think I actually prefer that one.
Yeah,
I miss his raspy voice giving out. I kind of like that emotional side to him, you know?
Yeah, there's kind of there's a nice pathos when he's not slagging the hell out of you. There you go.
I hope you're well done. I miss you. I haven't seen you in ages, but that's absolutely fantastic work. You're turning to the rugby next, Cameron.
We've team news for the Champions Cup and Challenge Cup games. So new signing Rico Ioane is set to make his Leinster debut in their Champions Cup opener against Harlequins this weekend. He's been named on the bench, with head coach Leo Cullen bringing back a number of Ireland stars into the starting team. Caelan Doris will captain the side at number 8 for what will be his first appearance for the province this season, while Angus Bell is set to make his debut for Ulster tomorrow night. The Australia international named on the bench for their Challenge Cup match with Wrestling 92 in Belfast. Captain Ian Henderson unavailable due to a back injury, while Stuart McCloskey remains sidelined with a groin injury. Henderson's injury, in fact, means that Charlie Irvine, 20 years old, will make just his second Ulster start tomorrow evening.
Give us the prediction here then. Where's Rico Ioane going to play his first game for Leinster? He'll come off the bench in roughly what minute? And playing roughly what position, Cameron?
I wonder. It's not like we had this conversation exactly just before we came on air. I think it's probably going to be centre, preferably outside centre. Like maybe Gary Ringrose is taken off after 60 minutes to rest him because they have that trip to Leicester the week after, and it would be the perfect place. I know Rico Ioane can play wing. He hasn't really played that anymore, and when you've got speedsters like Jordan Larmour and Tommy O'Brien on the wings there, you'd probably back him to see what he can do as a sort of more of a playmaker role. Outside Kieran Frawley for 20 minutes would be the perfect way to integrate him into the squad. So that's where I'd be leaning right now.
Perfect. You might just give us the Gaelic game story, before we wrap up, because that's going to be our item after the break.
Yeah, GAA clubs risk losing potential players in growing urban areas if it does not provide accessible clubs and facilities. That's according to a new report from the National Demographics Committee launched by the association today. It also found that 78% of GAA clubs in rural areas are with declining populations. The GAA Art Corla says the 2 motions will be tabled at annual Congress in February to combat dwindling player numbers.
Yeah, and Colm Cummins, who's on the National Demographics Committee, is on the line and he'll join us after the break. Cameron Hill, thank you very much for tonight's Newsround. Ben Symes, thank you very much. Before the break, it's time for the cash machine.
News Talk's Christmas Cash Machine.
Now, the Christmas cash machine is here, and there's going to be a guaranteed quarter of